crazy how now we have access to very powerful AI models, but very few people are actually taking advantage of that power. Right now, anyone can come up with a potentially award-winning app. You just need the right workflow. You can start from an idea and the AI will help you find what users need. It will give you unique selling proposition ideas and how to bring value to the users and what kind of business model will make your app successful. All you need is good UX, and I will give you the exact prompts to achieve that. And it's all free. You don't need any third-party tools for UX. And the best part is that you can do all of this visually. I love this UX workflow because I'm a visual person. I don't like to read huge blocks of text. Let's push the limits of AI and extract the best user experience possible. This is no joke. You need to see this. Hi, my name is Jad. This is where I share my latest AI workflows and tools for UX UI. And in this video, we're focusing on UX. Gemini has become so powerful. If you haven't tried it recently, it will blow your mind. I'm gonna show you everything you need to know. I just want to quickly mention that I have a private community for product builders pushing the boundaries of AI. I also have multiple courses on AI implementation. So if you want to dive deeper into AI workflows, check out the link below. Would love to have you. Okay, so to start building any product, I usually start with the UX phase, and specifically with the market research. And before we begin, I just want to mention that AI is so powerful now that you don't need to be a good prompt engineer to get the most out of it because it understands your intent and it can come up with all of the things that you need from a few words in your prompt. Let me show you. Like the first prompt here, I need a UX market research. And I said I want a UX market research for a travel app that organizes travel info in one place. So that's the idea for an app that I want to build today. So I'm starting with the UX market research. And just by saying UX market research, it understood exactly what I need. And it gave me a full research plan for this market. And of course, with deep research selected. And it gave me a complete document that includes all of the market research for this idea. And it really does include everything that I need in terms of market and user personas and user segments and what kind of technologies competitors are using with competitive analysis and technical requirements and all of the sources. There's a lot of sources here. Okay, that was all done with the deep research feature. But what you can do with this data is amazing. This is my favorite button in Gemini. You have this create button at the top right, and it will use all of this data to create one of these things or to create something that you can describe here. So the first option is a web page because I don't want to read all of this data. I want to see it visually, and it's gonna create a website that includes this report and all of its data. This is the website that it created for me. It's very organized, it's very legible, it's clean, and all of the data is neatly presented. Okay, this already is awesome, but I went back to the data set that we created here, and I said, create an infographic, and this is the result. It created an infographic, visually beautiful, and the numbers are neatly organized. We have charts, we have graphs, and all of the data is displayed visually. This is super helpful and very powerful to have as an early data set and early documents to start kicking off this project with the team. Okay, now if you want to present this data in a meeting, you're gonna need a presentation. So I went back to the market research and I said, create a presentation. Just type it here. It gave me a presentation, fully editable in PowerPoint, and you can go through it here. The cool thing about this is that it is a good presentation following best practices for presenting information. Like, it doesn't have too much text. You can explain it while you have this presentation in the background to support what you're saying. It's not just dumping all of the info in a presentation. It's actually doing it the right way. We have multiple sections. All the text is clear. It's beautiful. It's organized and professional. There we go. Can export it and edit it in PowerPoint or slides. Now that we have all of the data collected, I need to validate this data with real users. And that's a very important step in the UX process. And to do that, I asked Gemini to create a validation survey for the market. And it immediately knew exactly what I'm asking for. And it created a web app that is a survey. But I want to go a step further because this is a front-end survey, but I need it to actually work. I need to be able to save the data to a database, and I need to be able to view the data in a dashboard. And before, if you needed to do that, you would have to use a third-party app to host and have a database and connect the database to your dashboard and to your survey so that you can view the data. But now, Gemini can do all of that without you touching anything. I asked it to build a dashboard with a few prompts, and it figured out how to make this a working software that I can use to test with real users. So it built a whole suite for me, like a full-on software as a service that I built and that I can use to collect data. I don't need to work with a third-party app for UX and for surveys, and I don't need to deal with limitations. This is my own app that I'm using. So it created here something called Market Research Suite. And this is a complete solution with a database, with a survey, and with a dashboard. This is the app that is live on the web. Users will be able to answer questions based on my research data. So I need to collect all of this info, and the user will go in and click a few buttons to answer, and finally it will be saved to the database, and I can see it in the dashboard right there. So if I'm an admin, I can see the dashboard here, and I can see how many people submitted. I can see all of the data visually and all of the submissions here. Plus, I can export as a CSV. I can have all of this in an Excel sheet. All I have to do is export and it will give me an Excel sheet. Now that we have research data that is founded by real user data, it's time to jump into the next UX phase, which is finding a unique selling proposition so that we can market this app. Something that will make this app different than competitors, that will make this app successful. All you have to do is ask for a USP from Gemini, and it will suggest things that will make your app successful based on market research. Here I said, give me a few USP ideas, and then it gave me a strategic framework visually as well. So this is really cool. I can see this and immediately recognize that I have 4 solutions here and what each solution is solving for. So here we have the zero-touch ingestion, which will take my travel data automatically and analyze it with AI. This is a really cool feature that can make my app successful. And here's another one that solves the lack of connectivity, and another one that solves the group decision fatigue, and then one that solves for searching for documents. So these are all pain points that we're solving for based on the research data and based on real user data. So believe me when I say these solutions are grounded and valid and potentially successful. You can also see a breakdown of these solutions and how they compare. So here you can decide what you prioritize, and that will help you make the right decision. I said, let's proceed with solution 1. I said, give me solution ideas for a mobile UI. So at this point, I'm only asking for quick mockups to be able to visually see what this solution looks like in a UI. I'm not building the UI yet. I just want to visualize what it would look like. So here's the first solution visually mocked up in a very nice way where it explains what's happening in the screen. Plus the screen itself is interactive. So this is a confidence-based UI. It's really diving deep into UX principles here. And then you can interact with the UI to see how this solution works. We're talking about the core solution here, not the whole UI. So the core solution here is that it will bring information and analyze it with AI. And I can review it and confirm it, and then it will be added here to my timeline. Or I can go to the other tab which says ingest to grab a screenshot or sync my email to collect the flight data. So this is the core of the solution presented to me in a visual way that I can share with my team and decide whether this is a good solution or not. But I'm not just gonna go with the first solution. I asked for the same presentation for the second idea or the second solution that we got. So it gave me another solution. That way I can decide which direction to go with. And I advise you to do this anytime you have a decision to make. And this is called the double diamond approach, where we explore multiple solutions and then we decide on the best solution. So here's another solution for me, and I can also see how it works and what it solves for and the UX principle. That will help me to make better decisions. So I said, let's proceed with the first idea. I need a mock-up of the app UI. So it gave me a mock-up of the UI for the first solution. And this is what it looks like. There's a screenshot here. And once you take this screenshot, it will confirm and it will be added to your journey. And then you have an inbox and you have your documents as well. So this is basically what this solution will look like. And now that we have a grounded, powerful solution that we're going to proceed with, we're going to need a PRD, or a product requirements document. This will include all of the requirements that we came up with so far, based on the data, based on the solutions, and based on all of the UX principles that we worked with. I want a comprehensive requirements document. This will be the guide of the whole journey of building the product for all of the next phases. So I said create a PRD for the whole project, and it understands exactly what to include in this PRD. I don't need to explain anything. And look at that, it gave me two things. It gave me a requirements document that is fully editable with writing tools. This is absolutely amazing. So you can modify it and type whatever you want here, or edit it. And then it also gave me a PRD dashboard. This is a product strategy and technical roadmap. So this is like a requirements document that is interactive and live on the web that I can share with my team. Amazing. Now that we have the requirements, we can start by building the UI. And to have a UI that adheres to all of the requirements and all of the data, I'm going to need instructions from Gemini itself, because it has all of the context. I said, based on the PRD, give me the homepage requirements. So it gave me a document for the homepage requirements. There we go. I have requirements for the homepage. And it also gave me a blueprint. I don't really need this, but it is good to break down the UI here. But what I need is the homepage requirements, and I'm going to take those requirements and build the UI with uxPilot. So I'll just copy everything here. And in uxPilot, I pasted my homepage requirements in the prompt box here. But to give uxPilot as much context as possible, I went back to the project requirements and I copied it, and I included the whole PRD document inside of the project context for the whole app in uxPilot. So I have the PRD here and the homepage requirements to generate the homepage screen. And this is the result. This homepage should theoretically cover all of my requirements. So what I'm going to do with this is copy and paste it inside Gemini, and I'll ask Gemini to audit my design to see if it actually covers all of my requirements for the homepage. So I did that here. I pasted the UI and I said, based on the requirements, what do you think of this homepage UI? Give me a feedback report. Here's the breakdown of the feedback. It went through everything, compared everything. It told me what is working very well and what are areas for optimization. And then the final verdict was that it's approved for building. But that's not enough for me. I need to improve it even more. So I said, how can I improve the UI? It suggested here a new document for improvement. And these are the 4 things that I can improve with this UI. And to be able to perform these changes, I need a short paragraph explaining these changes so that I can copy it to uxPilot. So I said, explain the changes in a single paragraph. It gave me this paragraph. Now in uxPilot, I click here, then global edit, and paste this paragraph here. And there we go. This is version 2 based on all of the improvements that Gemini suggested. And this is amazing. You can actually see that the UX has improved here. Here's the previous design. You can't see all of the suggestion, all of the pending verifications here. And this is a core thing to approve in the app. So we need it to be more prominent and more visible in the UI. So with this new design, you have a dedicated card that shows everything visibly here. So this is already a very good UX improvement. And then the other improvement here is these items or cards in the timeline. Look at that. This is the new design. Now they're color-coded and much better visually. So this also improves the usability. So you can actually see the UX improvements, and they are very accurate. Okay, now that we have a very solid UI for the homepage, I'm gonna go back to uxPilot and create a whole flow for this app so that I can test it. We need to validate this UI with real users. So all I'm gonna do here is select this page, generate, and I'll say flow. And since uxPilot already has all of the context of my app, all I'm gonna enter here is all pages. And I'll click on autoflow, and there we go. Now we have all of the pages that are needed for this app. I'll just select generate flow. And there we go. uxPilot generated the flow for the whole app for me based on that homepage screen. The whole process from onboarding to signing up, to adding flights and adding travel info, even the scan screen and the settings screen here. Now to be able to test this, I'm gonna go and select everything and I'm gonna say generate prototype. And then it will confirm the flow with me here. I can reorder the flow if I want. And then I'll click generate prototype. And here's the prototype. I can preview it here and I can send this link to users to be able to test it. Okay, now back in Gemini, I'm gonna say create an interactive survey to gather actionable feedback. I want quantitative and qualitative data, and I want the users to be able to give feedback on their experience using this app. I also said I want the data to be saved on a database, and I want to be able to view the data in a dashboard. So just like the market survey, we're gonna do the same with for the UI feedback survey. And there we go, Gemini created a feedback suite that actually tests the UI based on all of the requirements that we have so far. So it's asking really very relevant questions here. Like it's asking about the color coding, if it's clear or not. It's asking about clarity and to submit the feedback. And then once the user submits their feedback, I can see everything in the dashboard and export and visualize the data. This is amazing. So yeah, to access this app, you have a unique link on the web that is hosted, and you can just share this link with anyone that you want. And this is how you build your own software for user testing, for research, all with Gemini without using any third-party app. Let me know if you have any questions or any suggestions. I'll answer everything down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.